Hi, well, once again, my name is David Folletti. I'm going to be your instructor for the criminal law class. Hopefully, you've had a chance to kind of browse through the blackboard and see the Start Here section, the essential course information, and look at some of the things that are offered in there. Special attention for the background information. Prerequisite for this course is you do have to have a background check done on you before you can do this course. So if you haven't had a chance to do that, go ahead and go to that folder and fill that information out and send it to me, and I'll get that forwarded. So if you've already had that done on other courses, you don't need to have it done again. Once again, we're going to be using the Principles of Criminal Law, the fifth edition by Wallace and Robertson. Pretty good book. If you hadn't had a chance, you go ahead and start reading that chapter one section. Hopefully you've had a chance to copy off your syllabus so you can kind of go through that as I go through it. Starting at the top, this is criminal law, CRJ 5456 in the spring session. Starting January 20th and ending on May 16th of 2015. As you can see, for contact information for me, most of the time I'm kind of on the road a lot or busy, so if you will just send me a Blackboard message, I should get back to you. I check that 2 or 3 times a day, so I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. Link there to the college bookstore if you haven't had a chance. One key piece of information there, that last date of withdrawal with the W is April 15th of 2015. Hopefully you'll enjoy the class and you won't have to withdraw. If you do, get in touch with me. If there's some issues that I may be able to help you with, we can try to work through that. Once again, Blackboard messaging is the key piece of information to go through there. It's located on your Blackboard site. Computer requirements. This is a web-based course, so you have to have access to a computer with internet access. Some of the things I've included in there you can open up in PDF and some in PowerPoint. So hopefully you have use of both those. If not, you can go to one of the Cali College centers and use the computer equipment that they have there. Purpose or goal of the class, examine the history, scope, and nature of the law, focusing on parties to a crime, classification of offenses, criminal acts, and intent. As in my previous video, we're going to go into a lot more detail on intent and premeditation, especially when we get to the homicide statute. Objective of this course, communicate clearly and effectively, both verbally and through written documentation. If you go into law enforcement or any field of the criminal justice system, you're going to have to learn to write and be able to be understood by other people. What I tell a lot of young officers is it may not be just your supervisor that is going to see that report. It may go on up to attorneys and judges and maybe even up to the Supreme Court. So it's important that you write legibly and clearly so that your audience can understand what you're trying to portray. Apply substantive and procedural law to practical situations and demonstrate ethics, integrity, teamwork, and professionalism. You're expected to review the how to get started. The first assignment you're going to have is an introduce yourself through a discussion forum. We're going to be doing a discussion forum, I think, 11 or 10 times during this course. That just gives you a chance to go through and communicate with the other students, bounce some ideas off each other. Most of my course is based on your own opinion, so don't be afraid to give your opinion, but be able to back that up with some facts as well. Interact online with the instructor and peers. I've also included a journal section on here. What I'd like you to do once a week is just write something in your journal. The only people that will see that is me and the individual student. That's not open to the other students. Include any kind of media releases in there, things that you see that are interesting in the media, what's going on around the world. I'll read those, and sometimes I even use those in my next class as assignments or discussion topics. So it not only helps you to kind of keep up with what's going on in the world, but it also helps me as well. Like I said, respond to the discussion boards within the designated time frame. That's really important when you see those. Go ahead and get on there and do that, because not only do you have to respond with your own discussion thread, but also I'm requiring you to respond to 2 other students' discussions. And if you get that done early enough, everybody will have time to get theirs done. So it's just a good way to do that. Respond to messages from your instructor, and then submit assignments and activities by those corresponding deadlines. We've got 15 chapters in this book. I call them chapter series, 1 through 15. As you'll see down lower in the last page of your syllabus, I provided basically a semester schedule starting with chapter 1 series. It's going to go from January 20th to January 25th. So whatever is in that series, sometimes you'll have a discussion, an assignment, or both, and then we'll have one quiz per chapter series. So in the case of chapter 1, you'll need to have all that completed as of January 25th at 11:30 p.m. So you can see I run my course from 8 a.m. on the first date of the series available to 11:30 p.m. on the series date, the due date. So in that case, January 20th, January 25th. So everything, the assignment, discussion, and the quiz needs to be done by 11:30 and turned in on January 25th. So I think I've given you adequate time to do that. So the first thing that you'll want to get turned in as soon as possible is a discussion to introduce yourself. And then as you read down there through there, the chapter 2, 3 through 15, the last one, the chapter 15 series is from May 4th to May 10th. And then our final examination is going to be open from May 12th through May 16th. So when that series is open, once that opens, you have that whole time period to complete the quiz, the assignment, and the discussion. Some of the series will only have a discussion, some will only have a assignment, and some will have both. Try to make that as fair as possible, depending on the time frame that I've given you for each one of the series. So, like I said, if you have any questions or anything in reference to any of this information, just get a hold of me, and I'll get an email or a Blackboard message back to you as soon as possible. Also, what I've included is just a kind of a scheme of what the grading series is going to be. That first discussion question is 20 points, and then each one after that's 20 points for a total of 200 points for all 10 of those. We're going to have 15 chapters. We'll have 15 chapter quizzes. They're going to be 20 questions each, and I've mixed those up between multiple choice, true, false, and maybe some matching, so kind of keep it a little bit interesting. And those will be worth 2 points apiece. So out of the 15, you'll have a total responsibility for 600 points for your total grade. So it's really important to make sure and keep that. Also, copy those off. Every question that's going to be on your final comes from those questions. I don't hide anything. Just go ahead and make sure that you keep those up. If you want to copy them off and use them during your final, that's fine. For your final, I can't tell if you're using anything anyway, so I make it to where you can use your notes, the PowerPoint presentations that I hand out, any assignments or anything like that. You can use all that information as well as your textbook to answer the questions on the final examination. One thing I ask is that you don't get together and do that together. That's not fair for anybody. So you got the 15 chapter quizzes. We'll have 10 total assignments. Those are worth 25 points each for a total of 250. That final examination is going to be worth 100 points. Your journal, which I ask for you to write in each week, we've got about 13, 14 weeks. I'll grade based on kind of the percentage of how many you turn those in. Those are easy points. And then attendance and participation is a total of 50 points. So I don't give extra credit because I think it's important to just do your work and turn it in a timely manner. I've given what I think is adequate time to keep those series open so that you can turn that information in. So just make sure you get that turned in and you shouldn't have any problem. But that 50 points comes from basically an overview of what you do during the course. And it's really important that you get on and log in 2 or 3 times a week to make sure that you're keeping up with anything. Make sure that I haven't sent out a message about something that's important or something that I want to point out. So that's a total of 1,300 points. And as you can see on the grading chart that I provided on there as well, you can tell where you would fall for an A, B, C, D, or an F. Tutoring and remediation, Cali College does a pretty good job with helping with that. If you have any questions, you can go to the website addresses that are listed on there. If you have any additional questions, please don't hesitate to call me. Homework, all assignments shall be concluded by the indicated due date. I've kind of covered that. Late assignments will have a maximum of 50% of their original grade. So just make sure you get those turned in. There'll be one quiz per chapter, and they will not be accepted after the closing date posted on Blackboard. I've got this set up that once that time, 11:30 on that date, is done, and you will not be able to turn that in. So just make sure you get on and do that. They're pretty simple. The only examination will be that final examination, and it will not be accepted either after the closing date on Blackboard. I don't give extra credit. Basically, your extra credit is those 50 points that you gain by just staying involved in the course. And in reality, that journal, if you keep doing that, that's 100 easy points for you to gain in the course. Online courses, the college wants you required to log in 2 or 3 times weekly and complete work online within the course management system, and we've kind of covered that. Pay attention to the deadlines and allow yourself plenty of time. There's also a calendar located on here, and you should be able to look on that. Anything I have listed as a due date will be on the calendar for that course as well. class policies. We'll cover a lot of information. All discussion, assignments, quizzes, and exams will be concluded by the posted dates on Blackboard. Once again, use your calendar. And we talked about the late work. A lot of those things, once it closes, like the quizzes and the discussions, once those are closed, I cannot take any work in. The only thing that you can really turn in late is your assignments. And once again, you'll only get about 50% of the original grade for that. You see the different policies that are listed on there. And then, like I said, at the very end, we've got the semester schedule there for you. So, pretty simple. We're going to start with chapter 1 in your textbook, so you can start reading that. And that covers the sources of criminal law. That's kind of where we go into the history about things. Punishment, morals versus laws. If you've taken any crime classes before, or any criminal justice classes before, you'll know that a lot of our laws come from our early English common laws. So that'll be a little bit familiar to you. Pretty good book. It's got some information in it. They go on the model penal code on this. What I will try to do through the semester is try to throw some Kansas statutes at you, or Kansas laws in reference to the individual laws, instead of just the model penal code. But we will be reading about those in your textbook, so those will be anything that we test on will be off the model penal code. I think it's important for you to understand Kansas statutes as well, because that's what we go off of as in law enforcement. Looking forward to having you in my course. If you read my bio, you know that I work for the Kansas Bureau of Investigation. I mostly work homicides, death investigations, things like that. So I have a lot of interest in that area. I also do a lot of public corruption. I work a lot of child abuse cases, things like that. But I really enjoy teaching. I like the input. The one thing that we need to try to do with online courses is try to get that communication back and forth between the students and between the students and the instructor. So either send me an email or a Blackboard message. I've also opened a blog. My last class didn't use that a whole lot. But if you want to get to know each of the students and bounce ideas off each other, you can surely use that blog. It's made available to you. There's no grade on it, but you can use that to kind of communicate with each other. And that, like I said, that's not graded. So if you have any questions, just get a hold of me on Blackboard messaging, and I'll try to answer them as soon as possible. I hope you enjoy the course. I put a lot of time putting the course together, and I enjoy it. So thank you, and look forward to teaching you for the next semester. Thank you.